Greylock is an analog horror series that ventures into the depths of the human psyche. At its core lies Synopsis USA, an American company whose intentions may be far more sinister than they reveal. The first video of the series was uploaded on March 13th, 2023, and now there are a total of 9 tapes, each one vital to the story, making you question the truth of this cursed world. Welcome to Greylock.
Primary systems online.
The first tape is fairly short. The camera pans through multiple rooms that appear to be from an abandoned facility. From the audio, we learn that someone has logged into the Synopsis database as administrator only after they failed the initial login. Once they are in, they begin to extract information that the system may not want others to see.
Accessing archival storage form, GBA. Data extraction initiated. Data extraction, 10% complete. Data extraction, 4% complete. Data extraction, 80% complete. Data extraction, complete. All data extracted to error, no.
The second tape kicks off with a late night drive through a forest. The radio plays a preacher's voice quoting the works of Charles Spurgeon, also known as the Prince of Preachers. He relays the words, "When men pursue evil, it's evil they will find." After a while, he concludes, "We are not to enter the thicket in search of the lion. We may pay dearly." As he says this, the footage abruptly shifts. The driver parks the car near a gate and ventures into the woods. As they draw near, the footage jumps back and forth, interchanging between 2 different shots of the same tree, creating the illusion of parallel occurrences. In one of these alternating shots, our attention is directed to a white object, possibly behind or protruding from the tree. In addition to this, for a single frame, we are exposed to a disturbing face. Though fragments of the audio are intelligible, the majority is difficult to make sense of, and the tape jumps back to the driver in the car.
When we will come face to face with the devil himself, whether we intended to or not, dear believer, we are drawn to him by our own hearts. In Matthew chapter 15 verse 19, it says, "For out of the heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false witness, slander." There is a shadow nested deep within our hearts, within our minds, in a place most people don't even know exists within themselves. The devil is going to call to those depths, dear believer. And though you may tremble before the beast, you should make it easier on yourself and accept what it is that he bestows upon you.
There's quite a bit to cover here. Let's begin with the driver's behavior. Right from the start, we notice their actions are unsteady, flickering lights, irregular driving speeds, swerving from their lane, and even coming to a complete stop to toggle the high beams. These actions make it seem as if they've never driven, yet it doesn't seem to be a problem at the beginning of the tape. At the end, they drive away recklessly at a high speed. Now, if something was chasing them, I would understand why they would want to get out of there. But moments before, they were at a complete stop in the middle of the woods. The sequence of events appears conflicting, making the notion of an immediate threat questionable. The preacher we heard earlier takes a sudden 180-degree turn from his previous statements. He proceeds to assert that humanity is inherently drawn to the devil, and that we should embrace what he imparts upon us. The following is a preconditional protocols and orientation video provided by Unit 13. Project Stargate was created through a partnership of the U.S. Department of the Army and Semiodyne USA, which is the same company that was included at the end of the first tape. This video is intended for Alexander Marsh, who has been selected as a test subject for Unit 13. It introduces the concept of thought forms. These are embodiments of a person's will, emotions, or state of being. They manifest physically, serving as extensions of their creators and exist as autonomous entities. Even those who didn't contribute in their formation can see them. During their early stages, they manifest as apparitions, prompting Unit 13 to reconsider the true nature of ghosts. Their hypothesis suggests that ghosts are essentially thought forms conjured by individuals remembering the dead. This implies that thought forms can be unintentionally generated, and in their latest stage, they can take physical form. Unit 13 aspires to summon thought forms for the betterment of society, ensuring the safety of the American people. And Dr. Bronat Hayes, an expert in thought forms, supervises the project. This sounds ridiculous, but it's truly their mission. To aid their endeavors, they develop a machine that assists them in the process.
Introducing the Thought Form Manifester. The Thought Form Manifester is able to create truly independent and self-sustaining thought form entities from the minds of select, willing participants. Being that they come from the deepest recesses of the human mind, thought forms can appear in virtually any configuration. They could look like a person, an object, an animal, or even something as abstract as the physical representation of an emotion. All thought forms are docile by nature, and while they may look or behave in a frightening manner, and though they are capable of making physical contact, they pose no threat to humans. Once your session in the Thought Form Manifester is completed, your thought form will be securely transported directly into a containment chamber. Thought forms are unable to pass through the barrier of the and will not be capable of causing you any issues. There are some very rare potential side effects that may result from your session. These side effects include increased tiredness, loss of balance, dizziness, insomnia, vomiting, episodes of temporary amnesia, and mild hallucinations. With all that out of the way, we are looking forward to your participation with Unit 13, and your time in the Thought Form Manifester has been scheduled.
The video claims that everything will be safe, yet the interferences display the opposite. Unit 13's blueprint involves creating thought forms to aid the American people, and they've handpicked individuals to test their pioneering machine, and Alex is one of them. In the dead of night, we find ourselves outside a family's residence. Someone turns off the lights on the right, while on the left, a man is peering out the window. Patiently, the observer waits until the household goes to bed. It is only here then that the intruder decides to make their move, finding an entry point through a window. Once inside, our attention is directed to a door at the top of a staircase, and we hear the following. The family is attacked, and from what we can assume, most likely murdered. Immediately after this, there's a clip of the killer walking outside, and we are shown an emergency broadcast.
At 3:34 a.m., Massachusetts State Police confirmed the presence of a potential group of active and unidentified home invaders who have targeted 49 residences since approximately 11:15 p.m. last night. The attacks appear to be random, spanning across the towns of North Adams, Cheshire, Savoy, and Windsor. Residents are urged to take the following actions immediately. Wake all occupants of your home. Lock all doors and windows. Close all curtains and blinds. Gather in a secure area of your home where multiple exits are available to prevent yourself from being cornered. Additionally, residents are urged to arm themselves with a blunt object or firearm if available and licensed.
This broadcast continually imparts instructions to ensure public safety. As this is being reported, the tape jumps to footage of someone looking out a window, and it's here that we're exposed to a bizarre encounter. Throughout the tape, we track movements of several assailants. Because of this, I initially assumed that the person at the window was one of them. However, as they attempt to close the window, a hand from outside prevents them from closing it, suggesting that they unwillingly allowed an intruder inside, sealing their own fate. Upon their appearance, we are confronted with numerous images of human faces grotesquely contorted and torn apart, resembling the face from the second tape. But there's one that stands out. In this tape, Tiffany is expecting a child and is making a visit at a local hospital for an ultrasound.
Well, hello again, Tiffany.
Oh, hi Wanda. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. No dad this time?
No, unfortunately, he couldn't get off work today. So I'm gonna have to call him on a payphone to let him know all the details as soon as we're done.
He's excited to be a dad, huh?
Oh, yes, he certainly is. We both can't wait to be parents.
Aww.
While the baby is being examined, there's a disturbance where we are exposed to a newspaper article headlined, "Bizarre Events Leave Berkshires in Terror. Authorities Mute." And after this, we see another white mask without any eyes. It is here where a tragic turn of events unfolds.
What was that?
I don't know. I've never seen that before. Maybe something to do with the power.
Oh, okay.
This is a bit strange.
What? What's strange?
Nothing to worry about or anything. Just having some trouble finding the baby all of a sudden.
Maybe the machine messed up?
Possibly. But I can still see everything else. It's just not picking up the baby for some reason.
Has this ever happened before?
Well, sometimes babies can move into certain positions that are hard to see.
But you can't see my baby at all?
I'm looking. Don't worry, he's definitely here. You know what? Why don't we just see if we can borrow another machine, okay? There has to be something wrong with this one. I'll be right back.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
No.
This can't be happening. Your baby doesn't know your daughter? That makes no sense.
At the end, we are presented with an obituary that reads, Tiffany Cusaldi, elementary school teacher 29 of Rose Pine Drive, Adams, died unexpectedly Monday morning. She had suffered tremendously after the sudden loss of her newborn son, Maxwell Marsh, on March 31st. She was unable to live with the heartbreak any longer. Tiffany came to this appointment expecting to see her baby doing fine, but we were exposed to a sad reality. The sequence of events lead me to believe her baby was never real, but a mere thought form created by her own mind. In tape 3, we learn that thought forms can be seen by more than just the ones who conjured them, and this is likely the case here. However, the presence of the white mask makes me question if they had a part in this. The trauma that this caused Tiffany was what led to her own death. I want to know, in the paper, Tiffany had plans of naming her child Maxwell Marsh, and Marsh is the same last name of the man who the orientation video was sent to in tape 3, meaning Tiffany and Alex were possibly together, and this was their child. The tape commences with a brief audio excerpt of Dr. Bernard delivering a speech at a conference discussing the works of Carl Jung and the manifestation of consciousness. Carl Jung devoted his life to studying the mind and believed the stronger connection one has between the conscious and unconscious part of their mind, the closer they are to a complete life. The North American Council of Thought believes that works of men like Jung are towers that should continually be climbed upon until men become equal to God. The tape transitions and we are now looking through the eyes of Frank Porter, who has received messages from Paul Morelli, owner of Morelli Construction and Mining Corporation, and project manager of the construction of a concealed facility. Frank logs into Simiodyne and has a series of 9 messages dating from March 24th to the 30th. Let's listen in.
Hey Frank, it's Paul Morelli. We ran into somewhat of an issue today. We came across these tunnels inside the mountain, pretty deep in, but well, this is gonna sound a little crazy, but he told me to call if anything strange came up, and I figured this qualifies. People have been here before. Some obviously man-made shit in there, like carvings and stone. This shit looks ancient, like real old. I took a crew in to look through it, but since part of the tunnels caved in some time ago, we're gonna just have to bust through it regardless. But I still wanted to make you aware of it. Anyways, I'll keep you in the loop. Thanks.
The construction crew's unearthing of ominous tunnels bearing traces of human presence sets an eerie stage. Paul makes note that the tunnel entrances were now caved in, however, this will soon change the next morning.
Hey Frank, it's Paul. Just calling to tell you the day might be a bit slower than usual. Unfortunately, a number of the crew are sick as dogs. Not really sure what kind of stomach bugs going around or what, but we'll do our best to pick up the slack. I'm calling in some guys who have a day off, so hopefully things will get a little closer to normal, you know. That being said, I don't know how the hell this happened, but the section of the tunnel here caved in is clear. The tunnel's been wired up with a few lights, too. Wanted to see if maybe you sent someone in while we were off shift. My crew said you didn't, but, you know, I didn't see anybody else either, so... But a few of the guys said they'd seen something running around in the woods surrounding the site. I figured it's probably a deer or whatever, but seeing all the ruckus we're making out here, you know? But they all insisted it was something else. Something like a real tall man. Might just be some environmentalist moron trying to cause some shit, but, you know, he ain't done nothing, so I told him to keep focused on the project. For safety's sake, we're going to avoid the tunnel until I hear back from you. Alright, bye now.
Obviously, something's not right here. The old tunnels that were caved in are now cleared and illuminated by newly added lights. The crew has started to become sick, and they mention seeing a tall man appear around the site, but this presence does not halt their endeavors. Arnold Rivers, who was once specialized in archaeology and now contributes to the construction crew, takes it upon himself to venture into the enigmatic tunnels, revealing ancient artifacts concealed within their depths. The entries that follow show that the situation has taken a dark turn. Paul documents the crew's worsening health, food supply decaying, and unsettling observations of the tall figure hidden within the trees. Right after this, their hunting camera number 2 detects motion near the site. The old tunnels become an abyss, consuming both Paul and his team, mentally and physically. We're shown multiple clips of motion detected by the hunting cam, but it hasn't picked up on anything except for a green light. Or has it? Let's pretend the camera is working as planned, meaning it's actually detecting motion, but there's nothing in the clips. This leads me to believe that something is manipulating the lens, which could explain this in the last video. We are brought to the final message, and it's not pretty.
This is the end of your messages.
Paul's venture into the old tunnels ultimately led to his demise, but the message doesn't end here. If we recall back to tape 5 where Tiffany lost her child, a face like this appeared right before the baby vanished, and here a similar face reemerges on the hunting cam. We don't know for certain what happened when Paul entered the tunnels, but it likely has a connection with this entity. This is a news broadcast that aired after the events that unfolded in tape 4. Within this broadcast, Don Wright takes to the airways to inform the public that the orchestrated attack has been attributed to an anti-American militia group based in western Massachusetts. Notably, whenever the name of the group is mentioned, it's edited out, strongly suggesting external interference, possibly at the hands of the same group. And they publicly denounced Don as being a liar. During the recording, a single frame interrupts the broadcast and we're exposed to this image, and the caption reveals significant information. Engaged couple Alex March, 28, and Tiffany Crisaldi, 26, sit together as they discuss the baffling loss of their unborn son. This new information confirms my prior theory and makes me question, why would Alex volunteer to assist in the Starlink project? After this, there's another message. These events are only the tip of the iceberg, says Jim Merling, a former police officer who now works as a private investigator and hosts a radio show centered around government conspiracies and accountability. These are horrifying reports of people, healthily grown adults, becoming deformed, growing extra limbs, teeth growing out of their scalp, people developing several mental conditions, or even sicknesses doctors have never seen. This tape picks up directly where the previous one left off, and we find ourselves in the midst of a heated conversation between Alan, the GBS executive, and two producers of the show, Samantha and Liam.
The hijacker had already said everything they wanted to say, hadn't they?
Yes, sir.
What a complete fuck up. They made us look like a fucking joke. And showing our most popular show. Speaking of which, Don, where the fuck is he? I cannot get hold of him, and he needs to get in here and read a statement to help clean up this fucking mess.
Well, we've been trying to reach him. We've called him multiple times. We've tried his pager. We've asked around to see if anyone's heard from him, but nothing. Right now we've got Gerald standing in for him tonight. It's on to some show.
You've been to his house?
Well, no. I just thought that maybe he'd be upset if I did that.
Get in your fucking car and go to his fucking house!
So the group is behind this, and as far as we know, Don has gone missing. This audio recording cuts out, and it appears that someone is searching through Simiodyne files. They open a file that was previously destroyed, an audio recording of Arnold Rivers, the archaeologist from tape 6, offering a fresh perspective on the events within the tunnels.
My name is Arnold Eugene Rivers. The date is April 8th, 1987. I was involved in the Morelli construction project at Mount Greylock. I'm recording this because I believe my life is in danger. On March 24th, our crew came across tunnels in the mountain that had a multitude of ancient markings and artifacts. On March 25th, Paul cleared the interior of the mountain and asked me, accompanied by a small crew, to look through the tunnels. I was then to report to one of the project directors, named Frank Porter, to offer my perspective on our findings. Many of the artifacts were pre-colonial. Some were from Native American tribes, but there were other artifacts and writings left by the cultures that were pre-Columbian in nature. Transoceanic contacts prior to Columbus reaching the Americas has always been largely a theory, but the artifacts in this mountain, they prove it.
Mount Greylock emerges as a sacred site, significant across various historical cultures. One thing that is odd though is what Arnold says here.
March 25th, Paul cleared the interior of the mountain and asked me, accompanied by a small crew, to look through the tunnels.
Let's compare this to what was said the same day on tape 6.
That being said, I don't know how the hell this happened, but the section of the tunnel here caved in is clear. The tunnel's been wired up with a few lights too. Wanted to see if maybe you sent someone in while we were all shit.
Well, this just got interesting. In the initial message, Paul brings up the discovery of tunnels but claims their entrance has been sealed. In the second tape, he doesn't know how, but the entrance was cleared, even questioning if someone entered while his crew was off the clock. However, Arnold reveals that Paul actually cleared the entrance and instructed him to explore the tunnels. What I can't wrap my head around is why Paul would lie here. I could be wrong, but I don't believe he has any connection to the tragedy that took place here because he ended up dying in the end, which means maybe the answer is much simpler, such as he was just curious and wanted to explore the secrets of the tunnels without letting Frank know. This sounds like the most likely scenario. However, Paul is the one that told Frank about the tunnels a whole day before he decided to explore them. If this were really his plan, I don't know why he would bring it up. It just doesn't make sense. The tape is then interrupted with a short recording and a phone call.
It was billions of years ago, when our planet was still mostly fire and rock, that a Mars-sized planet that had been drifting through our solar system collided directly with the Earth. The impact was so powerful and violent that the rogue planet was blown into countless pieces of debris. This debris collected to form our moon. Many of the pieces of the unknown planet remain inside the Earth to this day.
Adams Police Department, Dispatcher Carey speaking.
Yes, I'm calling to report a break-in at my coworker's house.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Liam Hollander.
Okay, Liam, you said this was your coworker's house. What is your coworker's address?
It's Parker Hill Road in Adams, number 491.
491 Parker Hill Road, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me, is anybody hurt? Liam, are you still with me?
Yes, sorry.
Is anybody hurt?
Yes.
Dawn Right Tonight was a popular broadcast, and because of this, the attackers used it as a vehicle to spread fear in the public and create distrust. Once their mission succeeded, Dawn was disposed of. Arnold Rivers' recording continues, delving into his experience within the tunnels. He uncovers evidence of mass animal and human sacrifice, sensing the presence of an entity calling him further, making him feel sick. He told Frank Porter that he should call off the project because the tunnels hold remarkable significance. However, he was ignored. Instead, Frank wanted him to extract everything from the tunnels before continuing the construction. But Arnold, knowing the toll it took on him, he was not ready to risk his own life for this discovery, and declined Frank's orders. Another recording follows, revealing that there are some crew members that survived the Morelli tunnel event, although I believe they would prefer to be dead.
Now loading. Morelli Greylock event, Group C, survivor data. Profile for patient B3590. Malformations. Patient prone to spontaneous violent outbursts. Now loading. Profile for patient B8816. Malformations. Patient will attack on sight. Now loading. Profile for patient B4041. Malformations. Strong homicidal and cannibalistic tendencies. Now loading. Profile for patient B7992. Malformations. Patient possesses inhuman power of suggestion and influence over others. Now loading. Profile for patient B1584. Malformations. Immediate quarantine required for all victims. Mortality rate post-exposure currently 92%. Survivors subject to rapid physical and mental malformations. All treatments ineffective. Immediate remote euthanasia recommended.
We are brought back to Arnold's recording for the final time. After declining Frank's request and expressing his intention to quit, Frank grants him permission to depart, wishing him luck on his future endeavors, and hangs up the phone. Arnold's choice to leave the project spared his life. Armed with newfound information, he became convinced that he's being pursued. Unfortunately, his suspicion proves true.
I heard something awful happened up at Mount Greylock, and then simultaneously, there are all of these things that have been happening around the mountain. The home invasions, the dead bodies that fell from the sky over Cheshire, the pregnancy phenomena, so many other unexplainable things. They all must be related, and I've been trying to figure out how. I've connected with a local investigator who's been trying to get to the bottom of this. I've shared with him everything I have, though I feel that I've been being watched. This can't be. Oh my God, that's a basement door. No. Camcorder. Oh, where's the damn camcorder? Here it is. Thank God.
They're here. I'm inside my bedroom closet. I'm going to keep the tape recorder running, and I'm hiding in here with my files. If something happens to me, and you find any tapes or files somehow, please bring it to the investigator, Jim Malcolm of North Adams. That goes for this video footage as well.
Come on out, it's the police.
Arnold's luck runs out and he meets his own demise. Yet, another masked figure makes an appearance and hunts down Arnold. He leaves instructions to whoever stumbles across the recording. He orders them to bring this information to the investigator Jim Merling of North Adams. The following is a broadcast from a radio station dated December 13th, 1963, announcing the National Access Initiative after President Kennedy's assassination and Lyndon Johnson assuming office. The initiative aims to provide equal access to communication tools for citizens, promoting connectivity, security, and unity across the nation. Eligible households will receive electronics manufactured by Semiodyne USA, designed to facilitate engagement and navigation through modern challenges. During the broadcast, an interruption occurs revealing unsettling footage from inside people's homes, spanning across different years. The station shifts to a segment revealing Percival Rothwell, Semiodyne president, speaking at a recent press conference. Rothwell praises Semiodyne Technology, emphasizing its potential to enhance American well-being and equality. A pause in the audio leads to an overheard conversation discussing Kennedy's knowledge of Semiodyne's plans, his denial, and the potential threat he poses to their motives.
Out here. Kennedy didn't go for it. But you assured me he was amenable. Or was that just more of your bullshit? No? He's gonna fucking expose our whole plan for the NII program. The meeting couldn't have gone worse. If that fucking Nick thinks he's gonna expose Semiodyne, he's got another thing coming. But we're not the only ones he's pissed off lately. After rejecting Operation Northwoods, and then that executive order involving the Federal Reserve, there are a lot of snakes in the grass. And it's about time that Kennedy got bit.
It is implied that Semiodyne orchestrated his assassination to prevent exposure. As Rothwell continues his speech, a red face suddenly appears and obscure home recordings are presented, with two particularly puzzling ones. One from 1990 features an individual aware of Semiodyne's sinister intention toward the American people, and another from 1993 depicting someone taking their own life while a closet door mysteriously opens. In addition to these, an image of the masked figures from previous tapes flashes quickly. The radio station concludes that the program will commence once infrastructure is established in the area, expected between mid-1966 and early 1967. But there's one more recording from a home that is included in the tape, and it's haunting.
Hello? Hello? Is somebody there? Where are my glasses?
Katie.
Where are you?
I'm over here, Katie.
Oh, there you are. Who are you?
I'm your imaginary friend.
My imaginary friend? But I didn't imagine you.
You must have, because here I am.
Yes, they look all shiny and new now. Here, come get them. Then you'll be able to see me.
Oh, thank you. Where are they? I still can't really see because my eyes are so bad.
You reach out and I'll put them into your hand. Okay?
Okay.
Closer. Just a little bit closer.
It's 3:10 a.m. on December 29th, 1994, and an entity appears in Katie's room. She speaks to it, and we learn it's her that created it from an instance where she was taken to a doctor's office. And as she reaches for her glasses, it attacks her. The tape concludes, displaying that someone is searching for an individual encountered earlier in the series.
Hello, you've reached Alex Marsh and Tiffany Crisaldi. We're not able to get to the phone, so please leave a message after the tone and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Now that we're all caught up, this is what we know. Semiodyne's files hold the truth to this world, but they are concealed from the public's eye. The anomalous National Access Initiative has introduced electronic devices into every household, seemingly designed for connectivity, but instead are used to spy on the people. After an attack in western Massachusetts, we learn that there's an anti-American group of masked people that played a role in the deaths of Tiffany, Paul, Dawn, and Arnold. Amidst all of this, we learn of an ancient tunnel system with traces of human and animal sacrifice, whose end is yet to be discovered. It's a well-developing story that is definitely worth checking out. If the series interests you, go show them your support. Also, if you enjoyed the video, I recommend subscribing to the channel, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.